In April of 2020, during the height of the pandemic, 5 New Yorkers picked up cameras and documented their lives.
Coronavirus is affecting basically everything in our lives.
We pick up the garbage for the rich people. That's the only way for us to live in Manhattan.
It's getting very real really fast.
When someone dies, these guys show up.
I need to go out, but I don't think Grandma's gonna like it.
It's dangerous. People are crazy, Papi.
Scared for him.
Their unfiltered stories are all part of the HBO documentary COVID Diaries NYC. And joining us this morning are two of the filmmakers, Fleming and Camille Dianand. Welcome, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. This is so impressive, I have to say. It's just unbelievable that at this age, like I'm not even going to ask what your ages are. I know it's really young, but a lot of us were not doing this, creating documentaries from our real life. So talk to us about how this process started, how the idea came about.
Well, I think it sort of started out of necessity because we were all filmmakers. We go to a program called DCTV. It's downtown. We were all in the middle of making projects for films, and they pretty much got canceled because everything got canceled. And for a lot of us, we just need to make something using the creative energy we had built up. So we ended up starting filming our families. We didn't know it was going to go this far for any of us, but I think that was the beginning of it. Camille?
Yeah, I actually go to college. I'm a film major, and our projects got canceled too, and we were told to just film our lives during quarantine. And during quarantine, my dad got sick, and I showed DCTV because I'm a former student there, and they just saw all of our films and what we were doing and what we were going through, and they were like, well, let's put it all together. Let's make something out of this.
All right, so having to share so much of your personal lives, like Camille, I know we saw a clip later on of your dad because he's an MTA worker. One of his co-workers passed away. So how did this affect you guys? Because you're here sharing things and it's getting real. You're seeing people dying or people coming to pick up dead bodies from these buildings. Like, did that put a damper on things?
It was extremely terrifying, and we were in this constant state of worry. One of my biggest fears is, not ever knowing what's going to happen. And with his situation, it was just super unpredictable. It could go one of two ways. So it was just this constant state of worry, hoping for the best. But in the back of our mind, the worst is always there because of what's happening on the news and what's happening in the world, All
right, so but things are looking up these days, right? Compared to back then to now, how would you compare the situation? Because back then was scary for a lot of us, but now when you're looking at it now, seeing how things have changed, how some people are better, like Broadway's opening up and people are getting back to normal, we're getting vaccines. Do you have a glimmer of hope?
There's a glimmer of hope. Sorry, Shane.
No, it's okay. I'm not sure which turns we're supposed to be taking. But as far as with my film, both my parents were unemployed throughout the making of my film. And yeah, my segment of the piece. And now both of my parents are back to work, albeit in very different situations. My dad, the restaurant he works at has reopened, but they're doing limited indoor dining. They're doing outdoor dining. 50% capacity will reopen soon, which is good and also sort of nerve-wracking because it means my dad is around more unmasked people all the time, every day. But it's still a good sign. My mom is back to work at a slightly different job at her preschool. So there is a bit more hope and sanity, but there's still a lot of uncertainties we have in my family, and I think in a lot of families. So I think we're definitely in a much better place, but we're not out of this just yet.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I have to say, I need your addresses because I need to send you paper so you can give me autographs. Because I know, no joke, because not only is this an HBO, this is not, because we're talking about how they're so young and then they have a docuseries on HBO and HBO Max, but you guys actually have real IMDb pages. You've worked on documentaries before. Shane, you act. Camille, you also edit. So it's really, really impressive to see your work on, it's a really big deal. Do you realize how big a deal this is? Because I do.
Absolutely. It's so surreal. I still can't believe it. Even after seeing the HBO logo on our film, it's just, I still don't believe it. Even just being on PIX11 is amazing.
Oh, thank you for shouting us out, although HBO is HBO. All right, Shane, so here's the deal. So how did this come about? Because we know you have the connection with DCTV. So there are people at home who are like, oh, I always wanted to make movies, blah, 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 blah. So tell us how the connection happened between you showing your work and the films that you guys shot and it getting to HBO.
Oh, well, if anyone is interested in the program, they have lots of programs for young filmmakers, high school, middle school students, and they're all free at DCTV. Look it up online. There's lots of different courses you can apply to. They're still doing online stuff, so you should seriously check it out. But I think, becoming from this to HBO, it was a long, because we were filming for months. We were sending editing. We were working with editors. I've never done that before. We were all doing different things, talking to producers and da 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 da. And by the time the film was finished, they're like, "Oh, we'll shop it around. We'll see what happens." And they eventually got it sold to HBO. So we somewhat had very little with the actual HBO-ing, but it was a lot of work that sort of built up to, oh, this is going to go somewhere. But we were thinking maybe film festivals, maybe on some. We had no idea. And HBO was a far, possibility, but it happened, and it was kind of nuts.
That is just amazing. All right, so I've only met you guys for the first time, aside from stalking you on your IMDb pages and stuff. This is my first time seeing you for real. And I'm super excited for the two of you, and I can't even imagine how your parents, your family, your siblings, your cousins feel. So we're gonna start with Camille. How is your family reacting to all this and your friends?
They're all very excited, and they can't believe it either, but they remind me every day that they're super proud of me. Like, my mom usually sleeps in, and she woke up this morning to watch me on PIX11.
Oh,
yeah,
hi, Mom.
they're super supportive and just really so excited for me.
All right, tell Mom I said, what about you, Shane? Tell Mom I said hi, by the way, Camille.
Similarly, I've been getting a lot of texts from uncles, and I'm like, oh God, I don't have your number, and I'm texting back, and I hope this is just a stranger. I have a lot of uncles. But, I'm getting messages from all my family. All of our extended family lives in the Midwest. We don't really have anyone here, so no one has access to all these wonderful local channels we get to be on. But, so far, I've been getting a lot of feedback from families, and, it's the usual stuff from grandparents saying, oh, it was great, So I think it's very nice that, well, actually, the first time when I told my dad that the film got picked up by HBO, his first guttural reaction was, oh, no! Because I think he knew he would, be seen upset. But otherwise, he's very proud of me, I think, and they've grown to really like the piece. But at the very beginning, I don't blame them for sort of having that pushback.
Well, that oh no is definitely an oh yes from all of us, because we are so proud. You're inspiring, you're courageous, and thank you for the great work that you've done and put together and opening your life to all of us. The HBO documentary COVID Diaries NYC is currently available on HBO and also streaming on HBO Max. Bye, Shane. Bye, Camille.
Bye.
Tell your mom I said hey, and your dad too. Tell him say oh no, oh yes.
Will do.
Diana and Betty.
Yeah, I think what they're doing is such important work for this unfiltered look, right? Because